Hi, Cynthia.
Please call me Cindy.
Cindy? Okay, I'm Kendall. I'm a social worker here at the clinic.
Nice to meet you, Kendall.
Thank you for setting up a meeting with me today. Out in our office, you probably got a few papers about all our informed consent, confidentiality, how many sessions you're allowed to set up and everything. I just wanted to go over a few of those things a little more in depth, make sure you didn't have any questions about it.
Okay.
So first we'll start off with the informed consent. And basically, this is just you consenting to seek services with our clinic and with me. You can withdraw that at any time.
Okay.
So if you decide that you don't want to come see me anymore, that's fine. Just withdraw. And that's that. Part of the informed consent is confidentiality. And that basically just means that whatever we talk about in here, I can't share with anybody else.
Okay, good.
Unless there are a few exceptions. If I'm subpoenaed to court, I might have to testify about something that we've talked about. If you're going to harm yourself or harm someone else, such as a child, an elderly person, really anybody, just know that I do have to report that if it's serious. Do you have any questions about that?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. So if you can just sign here. We can get started afterwards. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have any questions before we get started about anything?
Don't think so.
Okay. So explain to me why you set up this meeting with me today.
Well, I would like to have some better communication with my teenage son.
Your teenage son. How old is your son?
He is 17.
17. All right. So he's about junior in high school.
Yeah, junior in high school.
Yep. Okay. So what's the problem? What, you're not communicating, or?
Well, it just seems like our communications have been strained lately. He's into some activities that I don't necessarily approve of, and it's making our communication difficult.
What kind of activities is making things difficult for you?
Well, he's doing some drinking, and that's not something I approve of.
Okay. Well, I mean, he is 17, so that is underage. So
Exactly.
like any parent, you're concerned.
Exactly.
It's not legal, and
Right.
so
Right.
I mean, that's a problem. You're right.
It is.
So how much is he drinking, would you say?
Well, I don't exactly know how much, and it's not like an everyday thing. I think it's more like a weekend deal.
Okay. Is he drinking at home, or is he
Not to
going
my
off?
knowledge. I think he goes elsewhere.
Okay. All right.
I've never caught him at home.
Okay. All right. But you still know it's happening, or?
I can tell by his behavior when he's been drinking that he just acts different.
Okay.
I've never actually caught him in the act or seen him, but I can just tell his behavior.
Mm-hmm. What do you think you can do to maybe lighten the mood, or have you tried confronting him about it?
I have confronted him about it,
Okay.
and of course he denies it, gets very angry, and that just kind of closes off the walls of communication.
Okay. How do you kind of go about, like, explain to me how you would go about confronting him? What does that look like to you?
Usually it's more the day after, because he's not feeling well, and you can just tell he lays around. He's probably hungover. He just basically gets pretty angry and tells me to get off his back, and he's fine. And
Okay. And how do you react to that?
well, of course, I get a little heated. I get a little angry, and then there's just no communication whatsoever. He puts a wall between us, and anything I say after that point is not helping.
How you get heated and angry, and that's basically what cuts off the communication.
Yeah, or he does.
Okay. Is there anything that maybe you could do to maybe keep your emotions in check? So maybe things don't get so heated?
Well, it's hard because I am angry inside, but I know I try to remain neutral, but if I know he's doing something that's not good for him, I do get
You can get
pretty angry.
I see. So is there any times where maybe things aren't so bad, where you guys don't argue and get angry at each other?
Well, if I don't talk about maybe him drinking, I mean, the lines of communication are definitely better.
Mm-hmm.
He seems a little more open and willing to communicate.
Okay. Do you think if maybe when you don't start off with the drinking thing that maybe he'll come out and talk to you about it, or is he pretty closed up?
Well, he's a guy, so he doesn't necessarily talk as much as maybe I would like him to, but
Right.
but I mean, if he's out working on his truck or motorcycle, he seems to. If I just try and be a little more interested, sometimes he opens up and he'll talk more openly to me if I'm just kind of there when he's doing something he enjoys.
Okay. So he has a truck and a motorcycle that he works on,
Yeah.
and that's what he enjoys doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever help him with that?
Oh no.
No.
I mean, I can hand a wrench or a screwdriver, but as far as anything mechanical, I don't really understand that.
Right.
But sometimes if he's working, he's not looking right at me where it's just, this, you have to communicate right now. If it's more of, yeah,
straight
exactly.
on.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So it sounds to me like, I mean, if you can get him to maybe do something he enjoys, that it's easier for him to communicate with you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that maybe you two like to do together?
We have a lot of different interests. I mean, we do both like to go out to dinner, but sometimes there again, if it's just us, sometimes his communication isn't all that great. It seems a little more stressed and strained. It's not as relaxed as if we're just, hanging out or...
Mm-hmm. So what other things does he like to do that maybe you don't enjoy doing, but keeps him kind of calm and collected?
Well, probably his major interest is he likes to race motorcycles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's almost an every weekend deal in the summer.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
I don't know a whole lot about it. I try and go and be supportive and be there for him if he needs me.
Would he say that you're pretty supportive?
I think he would. I think he would because he knows that I really don't know a lot about it, but I'm always there to cheer him on and take him to the emergency room if he needs it.
Oh my, okay.
He's
Wow.
a little crazy.
Does he go to the emergency room very often?
Well, when he first started racing, we were there quite often, but now things have gotten a little bit better. He's gotten a little bit better, so that's not as much of an issue, but it's always in the back of my mind that, he might get hurt or, I don't like him to go alone just for that fact. I'm afraid if he does get hurt, how would he get there?
Wow. All right. Well, it sounds like you're very supportive and you're being great at going and just being there for him. That's awesome. I think, every teenager needs somebody there, even if they aren't showing appreciation right away. I think that's awesome. So, maybe when you go to his races, is the communication any better? Maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you talk the whole time you're there, 1 being you never talk. What would you say maybe you're at?
Probably before the race, he's a little more tense, so it wouldn't be a good time for us to really do a lot of communicating. He's trying to get focused on the race, but after the race, depending on what happens, sometimes he's, quite a chatterbox if it was a good race, and sometimes if something breaks, then it's kind of crazy because then there's no communication. I just am there for him to do whatever he needs me
Just so he's not alone
to do. Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds like your communication is a little bit better maybe when you go to these things. And is there anything else that maybe he likes to do that you can be there for him and maybe try and open up that communication a little bit more?
A lot of the mechanical things that he does with his buddies, or just kind of a guy thing. But I don't think those guys really are maybe as good of a role model as I would like them to be. It's, some of the guys he hangs with and their families are a little bit rough.
Okay.
So I don't think they give much.
Do you think that's having
direction
some effects on him back home?
Well, they definitely interact differently than what we do, or how I would like to. I don't think there's as much communication with his friends, is what I would like to see.
What would you say, like, it's different? How would you say that your day looks with him, as in it's different from what their family is? How do you see your day, I guess? Does that make sense? What I'm asking.
I guess. Oh, I don't think they spend as much family time.
Okay, so it's
together,
family time.
Doing things
Okay.
is what I would like to see.
Okay.
Their families are kind of separated.
Okay. All right. So is there certain things that you guys do as a family? I don't know, is Dad in the picture?
No, he was killed in an automobile accident when he was 2. So I feel like there's not that male role model at home.
Okay.
To teach him, the father figure isn't there, which that makes, I think, communication's different because he doesn't have that male at home to talk about things that I can't relate to or don't understand, or with the whole mechanical issue, he doesn't have somebody to really share that with.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's been rough.
How have you been doing with that?
Oh, I have good days and bad days. It's been quite a while, so we do what we need to and make do.
Okay. Is there anyone in your son's life that is a good role model for him?
He does have an uncle that's been there for him. They're in the same city, so I think he knows if he really needs something, that he could go to his uncle. And they do occasionally get together and do, some guy things, but not being there every day.
Right.
I don't think he feels like he can share everything with him, but he definitely is a positive role model, and
of course,
and would help out any way he could.
Yeah, of course. Would your son be interested in coming to talk to someone? I mean, if he doesn't have anyone to talk to and he's having a hard time talking to you, would he be willing to do that?
He would probably talk to his uncle. I think that would probably be his first go-to guy.
But nothing like a therapist or counselor or anything?
I don't know if I could talk him into that.
No.
I don't know if he would be very open to that. I don't know how much he would really share or communicate.
Right. And some kids aren't. I mean, some kids don't like to talk to people they don't know.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But, yeah, I would definitely maybe kind of push him hanging out with his uncle, just, every once in a while, just so he does have that guy time. So, that's a protective factor in his life, and which is really good. I mean, that's awesome that he has that.
Yeah, I would like to see him spend more time together. I think that could be very beneficial for him.
Do you think you could talk to the uncle about this?
Yeah,
and see if he would be willing to maybe kind of take him under his wing, or
I'm close enough with him that I guess I could step out and ask him if he would be able to do more things.
okay. So what were you looking to get out of this meeting with me today? Just want to talk, or did you?
Well, it's nice to be able to talk and share some things. I think just maybe some fresh ideas on how to be a better communicator with him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna kind of sum up our meeting, make sure that I got what you're saying, and if there's anything else that you want to add, feel free. And then we'll move into kind of ending the session, and I'll give you some feedback. And okay. So what I hear is that you're just having some troubles communicating with your son. He's a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Teenage boys don't like to talk to their moms.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't have that father figure, so you're concerned that, you know, maybe some things are going on that shouldn't be going on,
mm-hmm.
and you're not really sure where to go about that. And, I mean, you work 5 days a week and you take care of children. I mean, some parents aren't able to do that, which is really awesome, I think. I mean, I applaud you. 2
full-time jobs.
Exactly. You have 2 full-time jobs. I applaud you for that. But, so that's why I'm here. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? Maybe that I missed or I didn't touch on?
Not that comes to mind.
Okay. So, what I hear is when you kind of do what he likes, you're there for him, he tends to open up more. Which I would like maybe look for those exceptions where you can go and those opportunities, I guess, not really exceptions, but those opportunities where you can maybe step in and just be there for him, and or maybe go do something with him, just him and you, that he likes to do. Mm-hmm. You necessarily don't have to talk, but just being there for him. I mean, it sounds like he believes you're a very supportive mom, and which is important. You know that he loves you, and
yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then with your communication, I would just maybe suggest keeping your emotions intact. It sounds like you get kind of hot-headed when you start to talk to him, and your emotions kind of escalate, and maybe just being conscious of keeping your emotions kind of intact and a little bit lower. I mean, I know that's probably difficult,
yeah,
I'm sure.
It is,
yes.
Sure.
But just being aware of it, I think, is something that we could look for next time. Mm-hmm. Are these kind of some things that you think that you'd be able to do?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely need to be more conscious of staying a little more unemotional and mm-hmm. not flying off the handle so quickly.
For sure, absolutely. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you got this, there's not going to be a problem, and 0 being you are not going to do it, how do you think you're going to be?
Well, right now it's a 10 because I don't have any confrontations. But
right.
I think I'm probably at a 3 now as far as being able to keep my emotions in check. So there's definitely room for improvement. I can that's something I can definitely work on.
Okay. Yeah, I would just before we come back to the next session, if you decide to make another session with me, just try and make that 3 a 4. Just take a small step, maybe just make something just a little bit better, and just kind of focus on you and what you can do and some of those things that we talked about today. And hopefully things will get better.
Hopefully.
All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about today?
Not that I can think of.
No? Okay, well, I can get you set up with another meeting if you want with our person, and thank you for coming to see me.
All right, thank you.
All right.